Hello, everyone, and welcome to the last session of the Why Finland track. It's already 4 o'clock in the afternoon in Finland, and it's about to get dark outside. And myself and my colleague Ida in the background are from Business Oulu. My name is Silja Hyrkäs, and I work here as a specialist for international recruitment. And today we have an amazing speaker, Ramon Crespi, here to give you a presentation of how to break the Finnish ice. And Ramon is an international speaker, 8-time founder of Redefining How Finland Communicates with the World through strategy, sales, and behavioral psychology. So Ramon, welcome, and I'm so happy that you're here with us today.
Thank you so much. Hello, everybody. Welcome. You have made it a long day or long 2 days. This is the last part, and it's going to be given by me. My main point from today is to make smoother your connection to Finland at all the levels, from the business level, from the finding a job level, from the communication, from the finding friends, and we're gonna do this through a couple of points that I prepared for you in a presentation. But the presentation is going to be fast. What I want you to understand is the Finnish communication skills, how they work, how the dynamic of the culture works. And I think the best for that is to dive into the topics slowly. So we will do that first, and then we will please respond as much questions as possible. I will be also very open in my explanations about the Finnish society, so you can jump easily in the questions and ask me anything you want. All right?
Yes. Perfect.
So,
and my colleague Ida is moderating the chat, so you can ask the Q&As and the questions will be asked when the presentation ends. So go ahead. Presentation ends.
Before that, I forgot that I didn't introduce myself. So I think it's good for you to know who I am. As Celia said, I'm an international speaker, but among that, I'm an entrepreneur for the last 20 years. I've been failing, I've been succeeding, I've been failing and succeeding one after time. And I got to the point that I love to help people to understand each other, right? So that's why I devoted my life to communication. And nowadays I help Finnish and Nordic companies to communicate better using sales techniques and also using behavioral psychology, so how we understand other. The way or the reason why I understand a lot Finland is because, first of all, I'm not Finnish. So I'm a like adopted person in Finland. So I see things that the locals don't see. And also in the other side, because I'm a freak, so I watch very, very much all the little things nobody do, the day-to-day happenings in the supermarkets, day-to-day happenings in the business calls, or just sending an email. I see the patterns very easily. And that's something that I really enjoy. So I put together a knowledge pack, and today I'm delivering for you a little cherry picks of the most important. So let's go to the presentation, and I'm gonna start to show you what it is about. So I'm gonna wait like 2 seconds. I think it takes like 2 seconds to appear in your screens.
We can see.
Okay. So welcome to Finland. We hope to see you here someday. But before that, let's understand how the communication in Finland works. So Finns are a type of civilians, let's say, that they are great people. They are people who is committed. They are people who has an incredible sense of effort to do things and work and be respectful. But for the communication, they are very special. And they are very special when they are seen from eyes of a person who is not Finnish. For the Finns, there's no problem because they perfectly understand. In Finland, we are 5.5 million people. So I always say that when the business is conducted between them, there's no problem. And there is basically not too much work for me in that way because they already understand themselves in their own culture. There is no point for me to interfere. The point where I become important is when me or you who are sitting in another country right now behind the screen wants to come to Finland, make business here, start a new career here or whatever. So number one thing to do, Finns do not talk too much. It's not that they don't like to talk, or maybe a little bit, but it's not that they don't want to talk, but their own culture already, how the language is built, it's built in short answers, short questions, and not too much information. It's so like based on blocks, yes, no, one, and a little bit of detail, but not too much detail. So if you want to clarify something, if you want to make yourself be understood, make clear questions always. The second, Finland is a calendar culture. When you come from a culture below the Nordic region, nobody that much has the calendar culture. Everybody will, I don't know, just call a friend or pop to a friend house and, hey, how are you? Or we'll call a business colleague to offer something, or a customer. Here you must plan it. People is very time sensitive. Time is very important in Finland. So, people are very time sensitive. So they need that you plan with them all the little interactions, right? It's extremely important. If you plan it, it will happen. And this is the best, because it always happens. In other cultures, it happens that you say, okay, let's talk tomorrow. And then you don't talk. And then in 2 days, you try again to talk. And then you talk for the next 3 days. And then it doesn't happen. The good thing of planning everything is that it always happens, all right? As I said, phone calls. If you have to call a possible customer or somebody, maybe send a message first. Maybe send an email first. Is that okay if I call you Friday between 1 and 1:15? The person will probably answer you straight away, because they will see you respect their time. Emails. Sorry, I skipped little talk. In Finland, the little talks, they happen, but they happen when there has to be a reason for them to happen. Just like a basic little talk. Of course, you will talk about the weather, you will talk about the coffee, blah, blah, blah. But if you are proactive, it's going to happen more naturally. You can ask things like, for example, I'm very interested about the Finnish culture. How this works, by the way. The persons will actually open and tell you so many things. But if you want to have a talk, an actual talk, you also need to plan it, because the person in the other side will need to use time for it. And as we are a time-sensitive society, they will need to schedule it. So always think about this. You can have this freshness of starting new things, but if you start those things, it has to be with the perspective of, because you admire something or you are truly interested in something, then you can go for it. Emails needs to be as short as possible. Yes, there is the story also that in Finland, people love to read a lot of stories, long stories, blah, blah, blah. But for work and business, the shorter, the better. So basically, what you want, what you need, and when you need it, and your contact details, like as straight as possible, right? The relevance. There is one thing that happens for most of the cultures of Southern Europe and other regions of the world below this hemisphere, right? What happens is that in Finland, the storytelling it happens, but it doesn't happen that long than it happens in other cultures, right? Let's put it that way. So when you want to tell some story, try to find a short version where the people will kind of receive the relevant information as soon as possible. Otherwise, they are sometimes kind of waiting like this, kind of, okay, and why is telling me this whole story? And finally, you drop in the last second the most important information of the topic. So reinvent the relevance. Try to build a sentence where the information goes, of course, in a nice delivery, but goes as fast as possible. In this way, you're going to succeed. Think about that. This is not about becoming a Finn. This is adapting yourself to have less friction to enter Finland and establish yourself with more warranties. That's it. All right. And of course, once you have done that, things are more easy. Finns are super open mind. You're going to have super fun, and they are happy when you are different also. But at the beginning, it's important to polish these things. In the same point that I was mentioning about the relevance, we have the conversation limits. Don't overshare, right? As I say that we are a time-sensitive society, this needs to be like a little bit planned in the beginning. We don't want like that things are not naturally, or I don't want to teach you something that is not natural, but I want you to think that the next. For example, if I would be in my country, I would tell the story on how I sold to this company, or how I got to work in this company, or how I make this friend. I would tell maybe the whole story. But in Finland, maybe you have to say something like, I was just in the place where I needed to be, and then it happened, and another friend came, and wow, boom, well, now we have a new friend here, and I don't know, just make it shorter, and it's gonna work. The point of view is to understand that I think what puts everything in a bubble here is the time sensitivity. It's extremely important. And as I said, if you follow all of these steps and remember this, it's just going to help you to get a faster, more smooth entry in the country. In the other hand, we have the trust. Finland works for many reasons, but Finland works because it's a society that trusts each other. We trust each other for the payments. There's no delayed payments, basically never. It's incredible. You put the bill in the day, and everyone's paying the day. Nobody's late. It's incredible. But because there is trust. If you make a tax refund appliance in online, and they tell you that they will pay you the 17th of May, they will pay you the 17th of May. It's a society based on trust. The word means a lot. So when we come to Finland as expats or foreigners who move to a country seeking for the Nordic values, or seeking for different things, or another opportunity, whatever, we need to take care about 4 things, right? The 4 things are that, first of all, we need to find relevant partners. Who is important for me, for what I want to do? That's number 1. Second, when I get that person or that group of persons through networking, through some friend or whatever, then I start to show what I do, prove my value. Look, I know this, I do that, I have built this in the past, I know how to do this, look what I've done, I had this experience, blah, blah, blah. You sell a little bit yourself. Then you have an extreme work of fostering relationships. It's not enough just going to a network event and get to know somebody and send an email, and that's it. If you really want something from somebody and you want to improve your network quality, your relationships, and so on, I definitely advise you to take a little bit of budget and go to eat with them, go for lunch. In Finland, going for lunch is cheaper than in many other countries, and it's super weird to think about it, because Finland is considered as a expensive country for many things compared to the other parts. More in the south it is, but actually I will put you an example. If you go for a business lunch in Spain, it's going to cost you minimum 40 to 60 euros per person. In Finland, people is humble, and people understand that if you go with them for a lunch, you're going to pay like 14, 15 euros per person, and everybody's happy. Nobody expects actually that much in that level. Of course, if you take the president of like a stock listed company, maybe it's expecting something else, but I guess that's not going to be your first entry contacts. So do something like this and foster your relationships. Try to get people on board with these things. And this I learned it from a Finnish millionaire who sold his company for a lot of millions, and he told me that, Ramon, people always have to eat. So if you want to talk with them, just invite them for lunch. And again, we go back to the same theory of Finns are very time sensitive. So they need to put time on you, at least they will get something out of it. The food, for example. And the last point of here is give. Please introduce in yourself this mindset of giving first. It always comes, like, I don't know who is giving it, God, the universe, you name it, whoever you want, but it comes back 10x time. Give first as much as you can, and you will get it right. The business culture, if you have a startup and you want to sell in Finland, and of course, I know that maybe some of you are here for finding a job, or others to move a startup or create a startup, I don't know. But either way, everything is applicable for you. In Finland, if you want to introduce something new, you need to talk, instead of sales straight away or selling something, you need to talk about pilots. Let's test it, let's pilot it and learn with you together. And you can tell us how it works, you can tell your points, your feedback. The feedback is so important in Finland. Everybody wants to give feedback, and it's totally okay, and it's nice to know what people think. So for that reason, instead of selling, you make pilots first. That will drive you sales, that will drive you business, but first make pilots. As I said before, in the business culture, a lot of networking is going to be super needed. You can find from, I don't know, we have maybe 5-6 different platforms in Finland, and especially around this time of the year where we have the conference of Slash, there's so many things to do. So please sign up as much you can, go as much places you can, even in the online events if you are not yet physical here, and you will get to know people. Of course, also finding people from your same country who is already in Finland might help you. And that's why I said find a godparent. Godparent can be somebody who is already here, somebody that is Finnish but is doing exactly the same that you do in your country, and you can exchange some quality points, and you can build rapport, you can build like some ideas, and therefore it can become a friend to you. So when this happens, you have like a person to rely on, right? And with a person to rely on, networking and talking about pilots, you will be able to validate ideas with companies. You will be able to test, and you will be able to establish a company, to go to market, and so on. So this line, at least for me and the people I've been advising for the last 5 years, has been working, and I really believe it will work for you if you repeat it. Now, selling yourself or a business in Finland. This is an important point. Finland is a soft-selling country. Just for instance, another example of a soft-selling country is Japan. Why Finland and Japan are so similar? We make the queues to go to the ATM to take money out, like crazy queues in the waiting for the bus. People is not together. People is not touching each other. There is distance always. Japan is exactly the same. Why we are so different? Why so same? I don't know. But we are a soft-selling country. What are the things that a soft-selling country tells you? The first of all is that instead of being super pushy about selling your things all yourself, because in the end it's the same, selling yourself or selling a business is exactly the same, because you're gonna somehow involve the pressure, right? And Finns don't like pressure. So Finns prefer to be informed about the benefits, informed about how things work, and compare it to this existing technology. How does this do better? Actually, this will be one of the most common answers if you try to sell your services in Finland. They will say, and how is this different from this platform that already exists? Because they are a hyper-rational country, very, very rational. So they want to know exactly how things are structured to be able to give you an honest answer, an honest feedback, and an honest decision, right? And talking about decisions, let them decide. Time sensitivity, you know already this. I'm sure you're gonna remember this for the rest of your life. If you let them decide, you let them their own space, everything's gonna be way much more smooth. For last, I could add a comment. Yeah, I will leave this here now. So you can find me if you want in LinkedIn or whatever. But please now pay attention, because this is important. Everything was important, but this is also important. I say that Finland is a hyper-rational country. There is different types of rationality, right? There is people who is basing their decisions 100% on the data. There is people who is basing the decisions on the data and a little bit in the gut feeling. Finns are basing quite much their decision on the data. So anything you say, anything that you provide, there must be some way to verify that that's true and it actually happened, and that is like somehow proven or tested somehow, right? That's very, very important in Finland. Coming from a different country, like for example, in my case, Spain, that we are way more emotional, way more like expressive. I needed to rationalize myself. So I needed to control a little bit my behavior. I needed to reduce my volume, my intensity, so I would fit better in this society. And it took me 6 years. No, sorry, I'm here now 6 years, and it took me 3 to match the pace of the speed of Finland and my own speed. So now the good news is that I'm more balanced as a person because I am more rational than I used to be. And now I can say that I'm a little bit a Finnish citizen. So this was the presentation until now. Welcome to Finland. And now the questions are welcome. And I hope that there is some of them so we can have a little bit more fun.
Thank you so much, Ramon. That was an excellent speech, and I can agree with most of the things said as you were on point. And for now, I think, is it the afternoon or were you so thorough? There are no questions yet.
All right.
I'm thinking our people might be tired or the day has been already so long that maybe that's the reason, because your presentation was top notch.
Well, so if there is no questions, we can still talk about other things that I can add out of the script. And to be honest, like, okay, there's no questions, but I have 26 requests in LinkedIn, so at least you like something.
Yes, I requested a connection as well.
Thank you. No worries. So yeah, I can share things about my experience. For example, I can tell one story that happened for me just when I moved here, and this was before I turned my life into communication, behavioral psychology, strategy, and all of that. So when I moved here, that was 2019. A friend of mine who from Spain, who has today a unicorn company in Spain, so a company valuated over 1 billion euros. He told me that in that time the company was like maybe, I don't know, 50 million euros valuation, like really, really small compared to now, but it was already big, of course. He told me, Ramon, if you go to live to Finland, it would be great that you can tell to the people, you can introduce our company in Finland, right? So I was like, yeah, we can try that. So he asked me that, okay, try to contact the big companies and offer them that we will sell them our services, and we will see how we can provide value to the Finnish society. All right. So my first mistake was that, and I'm a salesperson for 20 years. I've been selling, I don't know, homes, cars, meat. I don't remember anymore. Travel. I've been selling many things, but still I made a mistake in Finland that I never done before, because in Finland is a mistake. That's important. So the mistake I did was that when I spoke with a customer and already said that, okay, this sounds kind of interesting. Let's keep talking, and let's meet next week and let's make a pilot or something like that. Then I would call the next customer, and the next customer I would say the same story, but I would add that actually I just talked with this company and they are also interested to try, right? Which in Spain and Southern Hemisphere countries, this might look like just, a way to show the level of the companies that you are talking about. So people will be like kind of interested to see, where you are pointing as a business. And 3 weeks after this whole thing, I get an email from one of these Finnish companies that is super well known today, huge international company. And the CEO accused me of lying. Say, why you are lying that you are saying that we are working with you already? And I was like, no, this is a mistake. It's a totally misunderstanding. I didn't say that. And I had to prove to this person that actually I didn't lie, because I had the emails. So you could say that we are in conversations with this company because they might want interested to make a pilot. But when the conversation changed from English to Finnish, they assumed, because they don't make too many questions, they assume that I said that we are already working together. And that was horrible. That was the worst example.
Horrible, but great example.
Yeah, the worst, how to say, the worst, you have soft landing, so you can arrive to a place softly. I had the hard landing with turbulence and needed to explain myself, and it was crazy. It was crazy. But
now we have questions Great.
Okay.
There's people agreeing. I just want to also agree. After 25 years in Finland, I'm still struggling to control my extroverted self. That's a great comment. Thank you, Ramon. Let's turn the tables. What is the best way for us Finns to befriend internationals? Great question, Pia. You can answer.
Best question. I think the best way for a Finn to be friend of an international friend is just, first of all, to detach yourself a little bit from yourself. This is, I'm going to explain this. So I'm used to it, to do things in a way myself, because I see life with these two eyes, and this is my reality. It's my reality. It's only mine. Even if you have another Finnish friend who is next to you, her reality is another one. So now imagine when you add another layer of complication, and there is a person from another country, from Spain, from France, from Thailand, from India, from wherever, the complication becomes like 10x more complicated, because their culture, the things they've done are completely different. So they are maybe coming next to you and touching the shoulder when they're speaking, or they are coming too close to you when they're speaking, because maybe in their culture is normal. I think the best thing that the Finns can do is, when these kind of things happen, first of all, give a hug to the other person, like just trying to foster friendship. Give a hug and say, like, I'm going to teach you something about Finland. In Finland, we are doing this in this way, but it's totally fine if you do it, because but just, you can, our mission as a society has to be also not, I think, not to change everything, because we have our DNA, and the magic of every culture is that they have their DNA, and their differences are incredible. The richness of countries is the cultural differences. It's the best. But people need to be aware of it, right? This is, for example, like many people ask me, like, Ramon, how many Finnish friends you have and how many Spanish friends you have in Finland, right? This is so typical question. I think I have like mostly half and half. And from the Spanish side, actually, I have 2 Spanish friends from Spain, and then maybe 5 Spanish-speaking friends that they come from actually a different continent, South America, right? And then from my Finnish friends, I know the ones with who I can cross the line a little bit more, because they are more traveled, or they know me already. But then I face in the same time the situations where super important Finnish people I know in the business world, they behave against the normal Finn behavior. So what's the normal Finn behavior? Quiet, distance, respect, like a little bit Japanese like style. But then the ones who are actually super successful in their professional careers, business careers, they are loud, they're touching you, they're speaking you close. And I was like, okay, what's wrong, Finland? Like, so Pia, there is no straight answer, but I think the only answer is to be human, to be welcoming. It doesn't, and to not be afraid of explaining things, because in the end, if you explain things, you are not wanting to be like seen as, that's by the way very Finnish, but if you explain it thinking on the benefits that person will get of that knowledge, that's the sweet spot, because there you are helping a lot the person, that because someday is going to find another person which has less trust, and that will help him or her to behave a little bit more in between the standard and win the first crucial meeting time.
Very good. And I think, well, we have one more minute, and there's one more question. What kind of expectations do Finns have in a friendship? And I think you sort of spoke about that as well, but maybe a brief answer about that, and how important that is to fit in Finland.
Yeah, through my experience is that I've been exceeding all the expectations of all my Finnish friends. Somehow they've been always expecting less, and I've been always giving more. That's the thing, because in Spain, for example, when we make real friendships, we treat our friends like family. And I don't know, I've been always telling to all my Finnish friends, if you need something, please call me straight away. You don't need to send me a message, you don't need to send me an email, we don't need to have a calendar for that, just call me, do it immediately, you know. And that's something that they never expect before. And actually some of my best Finnish friends, like some of them told me that, man, with you I can share things that I can't share with anybody else, because I given this permission of closeness enough so they can be themselves and they can have also another person to rely on. So imagine in my life, when I don't know how many people I know, but a lot, that a lot of people tell me their things. So in the end, I have become like a fake psychologist for everybody. but yeah, this is another story.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think this is our time slot to use, and the closing words are starting after this session. So heartfelt thank you, Ramon. This was absolutely fantastic presentation, and thank you for our audience. Thank you for being active, and thank you for participating in Finland Talent Match. See you next time.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.